we have seen that one of the modes of execution of a decree is arrest and detention of the judgment debtor. When this has to be ordered? When the decree is for payment of money or specific performance of contract, or the decree is for injunction, the arrest and detention of the judgment debtor can be ordered by the court. But some persons cannot be arrested. Under section 56, a woman cannot be arrested for decree of payment of money, or judicial officers, while they are going to the court or returning from the courts, or when they are presiding in the courts, they cannot be arrested. Thirdly, any person who is a party to the case, or their pleaders or muktars or revenue agents or their recognized agents cannot be arrested while they are appearing before the court, or they are going to the court or returning from the court. Also, witnesses who are acting in obedience to the summons cannot be arrested. They are exempted from arrest under the Civil Procedure Code, section 135 subclause 2. 135A says that the members of legislative bodies cannot be arrested when they are performing their duties as a member of a legislative body, and when they are in the sessions, or when they are sitting in the sessions, or when they are going to the legislatures or coming back from there. Then section 55 subclause 2 says that when state government has notified that any person or class of persons should not be arrested, because in its opinion, if they are arrested, there may be danger or inconvenience to the public. In such cases, those persons cannot be arrested. Also, where the decretal amount does not exceed rupees 2000, section 58 1A says that in such cases there cannot be an order for arrest and detention of the judgment debtor. Now, what is the procedure of arrest under section 55? The procedure is that a person may be arrested if he is a judgment debtor and he has not paid the amount of the decree at any hour on any day in execution of a decree. But there are 4 conditions, there are 4 proviso which speaks about the conditions in which he can be arrested. First of all, no dwelling house can be entered for the purpose of arresting a judgment debtor after sunset or before sunrise. Secondly, the authorized officer cannot break open the house or the outer door of a dwelling house unless that house is occupied by the judgment debtor and he prevents access to the authorized officer. He refuses to allow him to come inside. But if that officer has already gained due access, then he may break open the door of any room in which he believes that the judgment debtor is there and he can be found, when he does not allow him access in that particular room. Proviso 3 says that if in any room of the house, when the person goes for arrest, it is occupied by a pardanashin woman. A pardanashin woman is a woman who does not appear in public, but she should not be the judgment debtor. If a person is not a judgment debtor, she is a pardanashin woman, she will be given a reasonable time by the person to withdraw from that place, and she will be asked to withdraw, and after that the authorized officer can enter into the house. Proviso 4 says that if the decree is for payment of money and as soon as the officer enters the house, the judgment debtor pays the amount of the decree and also the cost of the arrest to that officer, then the judgment debtor cannot be arrested and he shall at once be released. Now, Rule 11A of Order 21 says that the grounds of arrest of the judgment debtor should be stated very clearly in an affidavit along with the application for arrest and detention of the judgment debtor. This was stated in IK Merchants Limited versus Indra Prakash also, saying that this is a mandatory provision. Along with that, there is a condition that when the decree holder applies for the arrest of the judgment debtor, he has to pay subsistence allowance to the court in order to clear or in order to cover the costs of the arrest of the judgment debtor in the civil prison. Here the state government may fix scales of monthly allowances payable for the subsistence allowance. Suppose they are not fixed, the judge may fix a particular subsistence allowance to be paid, and the judgment debtor shall not be arrested until that amount is paid by the decree holder. From the time of the arrest of the judgment debtor till he is brought before the court, he shall not be arrested until the subsistence allowance is paid within that time. Then Rule 37 provides that where the decree is for payment of money, then immediately the arrest warrant will not be issued. Instead of issuing arrest warrant, when the application is made for arrest by the decree holder, the court shall issue a show cause notice first to the judgment debtor, because instead of issuing arrest warrant, the purpose is to see that the judgment debtor is paying the money under the decree. It is not that the court shall issue an arrest warrant mandatorily, but the court shall issue a show cause notice first to the judgment debtor to appear before the court and show cause why he should not be arrested, because he has not paid the money, and the amount of the decree will be also stated in the show cause notice. But some cases it is provided that the notice is not necessary where the judgment debtor is likely to abscond, because giving him a notice may not serve the purpose. In such cases, if the decree holder satisfies the court that the judgment debtor is likely to abscond or he is likely to leave the local limits of jurisdiction of the court, then he will not be given a notice and directly the arrest warrant can be issued. Now, when he appears before the court, what is the proceedings? This is provided under Rule 40. After giving him notice, when the judgment debtor appears for the first time, the court will look into the case and it will inquire whether he is having sufficient means to pay the decretal amount. Suppose the court finds that he is unable to pay the decretal amount, he does not have the means to pay the decretal amount, then the court may not issue the arrest warrant and may reject the application for arrest. This was stated in Jolly George Burgess versus Bank of Cochin, All India Reporter 1980 by Justice Krishna Iyer, in which the court said that just because a person is not able to pay a decretal amount, he cannot be arrested, because being poor itself is not a crime. If he is not able to pay the decree amount, then he cannot be arrested. He should be given an opportunity to pay the decretal amount. Not following this procedure violates Article 21 of the Constitution, which is the right to life of a person. This was stated in Jolly George Burgess case. Now, when the judgment debtor does not appear after the notice is served to him, suppose he does not appear, the court shall issue a warrant for the arrest of the judgment debtor if the decree holder asks the court to issue the warrant. Even after that, when the judgment debtor appears, when he appears but he does not show cause or he fails to show cause against the arrest and detention, the court is not satisfied, then in such cases the court may, subject to the provisions of the Civil Procedure Code, make an order of detention of the judgment debtor. Now, the proviso says that when the person is to be detained, the court shall first make an enquiry. So, after enquiry, before making an order of detention, the court shall leave the judgment. There is a proviso that the judgment debtor may be left in the custody of a officer of the court in order to give him opportunity to satisfy the decree for a period of up to 15 days. And if he promises or if he says, undertakes that he will pay the money, or if he furnishes security for that purpose, then he may be also released. If he is not satisfied the decree within that period of 15 days, he may be released on furnishing security that he will pay it. So, this is a provision which is given in order to give the judgment debtor an opportunity to satisfy the decree. The purpose of this is to give him all opportunity, that is to follow the principles of natural justice and see that he gets all opportunity to satisfy the decree, which is a mandatory provision according to this Civil Procedure Code. The power and duty of the court in this case is, if the judgment debtor appears and he has means to pay, but he still does not pay, there are two conditions. First of all, he may have means to pay and he may refuse to pay, he may neglect to pay. Secondly, he may refuse to pay because he is having a element of bad faith, that is, he is having a malified intention not to pay. The court has to see that when he appears before the court, the first thing is that the court should be satisfied that he is not paying because he is having malified intention, not mere omission to pay. This was clearly stated by Justice Krishna Iyer in Jolly George Burgess versus Bank of Cochin case. Then the provision says that whenever a person is arrested or detained, the judgment debtor is detained, the court has to record the reasons for his detention. This is a mandatory requirement, and every time in every proceeding, whenever he is ordered to be detained, the reasons for that detention has to be recorded. This was stated in S.K. Kuttalingam versus Chinnakannu Pillai that this is a mandatory requirement, it has to be followed. Now, if the payment of money decree remains unsatisfied for a period of about 30 days, Order 21 Rule 41 subclause 2 says that the decree holder may apply to the court and state that it has been remained unsatisfied for a period of 30 days. So, we said that he has been released on the promise that he will pay, but he does not pay for 30 days. Then in that case, the court may require the judgment debtor to make an affidavit and state the particulars of his assets. So, the other modes of detention, other modes of execution can be availed of. Now, then if he does not make an affidavit and does not provide the particulars of his asset, this order is disobeyed. The court may direct that the person who is disobeying the order shall be detained in civil prison up to the term of 3 months, unless before that he is released by the order of the court. Normally, what is the period of detention? Under section 58, if the decretal amount exceeds Rs 5,000, the detention period shall be up to 3 months. Where it does not exceed 5,000, but it exceeds 2,000, then the detention period is up to 6 weeks. If it does not exceed 2,000, then there shall be no detention which can be ordered. Now, when can he be released? Section 58 again provides that once the amount which is mentioned on the warrant being paid, he has to be released immediately, or some other way, by some other person or by some other method. If the decree has been satisfied, then he will be released, or the decree holder himself requests the court not to keep him in detention, then he can be released, or if the decree holder does not pay the subsistence allowance, he omits to pay the subsistence allowance, the judgment debtor can be released, or if the judgment debtor is ill on the ground of illness, he can be released under section 59 of the CPC. Now, whether he can be rearrested, section 58 subclause 2 and section 59 subclause 4 says that once a person, normally when he is released from detention, cannot be rearrested under section 58 if he has been released, cannot be rearrested in execution of the same decree. This is the normal rule. But section 59 subclause 4 says that if he has been released on the ground of illness, he may be rearrested, and in Kesar Singh versus Karamchand, the court has held that if he is released because of the mistake of the jail authorities, he can be rearrested. So, if he has been released because the subsistence allowance has not been paid, then in that case rearrest can be effected. He can be rearrested after the amount has been paid. So, arresting him after releasing him is not illegal. So, we see that according to the provisions of the CPC, when the judgment debtor has a means to pay the amount of the decree and still he refuses to pay or disobeys the decree with a malified intention, then only arrest and detention can be ordered by the court. Arrest and detention is not a penal provision for the purpose of just keeping him in prison because he is not able to pay. Merely omitting to pay does not allow or does not give the court the power to arrest and detain the judgment debtor, and the judgment debtor can be arrested only if he disobeys the decree with malified intention. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you have liked it, please share it with anyone who you think would be interested. Please leave your comments and I would be happy to reply to them. Do subscribe to get more information on everyday law and legal studies. Thank you.